Okay, so essentially, Ultra is like a website more. The things that you want to pay the most attention to are going to be these items up at the top right-hand corner, and then everything that flows underneath this content area. I very rarely go to anything over here. If you, before you start the review, feel more comfortable going into student preview mode, feel free to do that. You just click the student preview mode, and then it shows you what students can do. Now, obviously, you can't edit or change anything. It's not that easy to make changes in here, but it is easy to move things around. But if you accidentally move something around, don't worry about it because I can always put it back where it goes. So, Ultra courses are always going to start out with the HBU resources. I don't even ever click on that to check them because it's just what it is, as well as the course evaluations that will always be there. So these two items I never mess with. The instructor resources, this is a weird thing about Ultra, is that it will say if the students can view it or not, hidden from students, and you can change it by clicking on it like that, and then, visible to students, and then it will show up just like these other things do. Basically, anytime you click on something, it's going to show up what's underneath it, or it's going to pull up a page depending on how it was created. So this is a folder, it will open up like a folder, and you'll see the different things under it. And this is where we keep everything for the instructors, which is really tricky because they can accidentally show it to students if they were to click on this accidentally, but they're not supposed to. So this is where the instructor guide goes, and then all of these things that are under here are just already in there, and I don't even mess with them. So the only thing I do is update this instructor guide area. Click on that, it hides the folder. So if you see a page like this, it means what it is. It's a page. It's like a web page kind of. You click on it, and then it has all of the items listed out there as its own separate item. So this is a banner image. It's actually just a JPEG that was put in as a text box. Same thing with this. This is where they would put their video. Same thing with this. APA resources, everything like that. You can just scroll down. So in Ultra right now, because we don't have any other place, we have like 1,000 tutorials and all of this crap and stuff in here. So, sorry, excuse my language. All this stuff in here. So that's what this is. And then you get into like the course schedule and the syllabus. Again, this is just two items under here. Click on this, it'll show up the reading and study underneath and the assignment. So originally, Callie wanted us to do a short module description here that told students what to expect before they go into the course. And then when they got into the learning resources, they also had another introduction. And I went back and I said, that's just overkill. Half the time provide it, so it's annoying. Do you mind if we just cut out one or the other? And she said she'd rather have it in here. So when you're doing the review, it probably still has listed on there short module description, and none of my courses will have, well, I shouldn't say none of them, but this one won't have it because MySme didn't provide it, and it's unnecessary, I think, because it's already under the module introduction. So that's what this is. Then there's module objectives. We fill that in. All of the headings are already provided in the Ultra template that she has, and she actually even has like everything in there. So all you have to do is fill in what you want, or what you have for the course, which is really nice. So I'll show you in just a second how to make these things, but I'm just kind of running through what's there and what you'll see. But this is just a page, and then you're just creating content on that page for the reading and study folders. The assignment folders are underneath, oh, I'm sorry, I said for the reading and study folder, but we actually call it a learning resource page. And then we have the assignment folder, and underneath that is where you're going to find all of the assignments. So again, she'll already have the course attendance review in there, the introduction discussion board, and all the templates. And then you're just adding your content under. So for discussion boards, and I'll talk about this in just a minute, how you add it, but they're a little bit different, a little bit weird. They automatically have this little this short, I think it's 250 characters or something on there, and it just cuts off. So we can't do anything about it, it's just how it is. But when you create an assignment, you can actually create your own very short description of what the student should expect. So that's all that's supposed to be in that area, is this very brief description. You can click on the assignment and it will pull it up on one page, a separate page of its own. So I always just do text box and include everything in there, and then over to the right are all the settings. So if you were to click on settings, if you wanted to look into it in depth, this typically will start with the due date, and I just always remove it, just delete it, because we don't do due dates. You put your maximum points allowed if it's graded, and then you would add your rubric. Oh, look at that. I guess I don't have a grading rubric with this one. I'm glad I checked. So then I would just select, this is a case study. I think it's this one. Nope. I don't know which case study it is. Maybe this one. I'll go back and add that one. But so that's where you would see, you can see if there's rubrics there or not. Safe Assign is enabled. So when you click on that, it usually says Safe Assign Originality Report, and you would click on it and then select it. And this is where you add that short description that I showed you at the beginning. So that's what each assignment is going to look like and how you access it. You do all of your, actually, let's go ahead and do this now, yeah. All of the editing is going to always be with the 3 ellipses. You would just edit this, and you have all of these options. You don't have any options for formatting, which is really nice for me, typically, except for like bolding, italicizing, and underlining. But the font size and that stuff is all just, these are your options. That's it. So it makes it pretty straightforward. You don't have any HTML to deal with or anything like that. And then you're going to have all of these options anytime you add content. So let's go back to the outside of the folders. So for example, module 1, if you're just looking at it like this and you see this little plus sign, those are going to be all over the place. I could add one here. I could add one here. That's going to add another one of these unit type things. So if I click on the module week, and I go down here, oh wow, all these other plus signs. So I can add basically when I click on any of the plus signs, this is what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna be able to create something, copy something, upload something, get to my content market, like if I had MindTap or anything like that, anything that's in the course like content collection. So if I wanted to create something, these are the options that they give me to create. I can create a folder, a document, a link, a SCORM package, we don't need to mess with that, test, assignment, discussion. So most of the time when you're using this, you're only going to be doing an assignment or a discussion. So that makes it really easy. I'm not going to do that right now. You'll see how that works later when you start creating your Ultra courses. But that gives you a basic overview of what the Ultra course is going to look like when you're reviewing. And it does take a little bit of getting used to it because the look is different. It's supposed to be better for students who, use their tablets or their phones or whatever. It just works better for them. Another way to look at discussion boards is this little comment box right here. And then again, you can just click on the discussion board form. It will pull it up as a page like you saw with the assignment. And then we always have a purpose parameter prompt for assignments. I don't do it like this except for discussion boards typically, where it's very blatant, like this is what you're doing. Otherwise, so not all my assignments will look like this. Sometimes my purpose is just very vague. Not vague is not the word I'm looking for, but the purpose is more just integrated into the wording. Again, you can click on the settings and choose whatever settings that you want to do. So this is, let me go back out to discussions. Sorry, I'm trying to make this fast, but there's a lot in here. So group discussion board forms, the only difference between how to create these is that you would just add discussion like I showed you before. An assignment, click the plus, over to the right, you scroll down, chose discussions. This pops up, you add your content in here. I've already added mine, so I would just edit the content. But if I go to settings, the thing that makes it different is that I'm gonna click that it's a group. So I would click group and then create groups. That's a whole nother story on how to create groups. It's a little bit weird. I can help you with that if you ever have to create the groups, but right now that's just letting you know that's really the only difference between discussion board forums and group discussion board forums. Something that's interesting with forums, that when you create them, if you are creating them, you can create them 2 ways, by going, like I showed you before, on the assignments, and then you click on the plus sign and then choose what type of content you're creating. Discussion board, you can do it that way for each module, or you can just come to this bubble and then all you'll have in here to start out with in the template is this introduction discussion board form. You click on the plus sign, you add discussion here, and then what happens is they show up because I do that all the time. By the way, if you click on that X, it'll take you out of the course completely. Anyway, if you scroll down to week 8, the discussion boards, if you've created them using that chat area or that bubble area, they always show up under here. So if you go and you're like, oh, how am I supposed to connect my discussion boards to my assignments? What do I even do? So they would show up down here, and you just use this little move button that shows up, and you would move it into the folder. And let me just tell you that moving things in Ultra courses is a pain in the rear, because they just don't have it. It's just really hard. See, it's like, well, that wasn't too hard actually. Oh, yep, see, it won't do it in the right place. Anyway, so if you have to move something, be really careful. But yeah, that's basically what you're looking at. Again, I very rarely mess with anything over here, if at all. And then just up here, you can go to Gradebook if you want to see that the Grade Center is organized correctly. And then you can also click on the assignments from here, and it will show up just like it did if you clicked on it from the module week. So that's another way to review things and look at things. So that was really a lot of information, probably too long, and yeah, hopefully it helps. Have fun.